Hey beauties, it's your girl Beautiful Yaz, and I'm back with another vid. Today's video will be very informative. I will be showing you many different methods that I use when I do a frontal sew-in. So let's just get started. So the first method I'm showing you is my braiding pattern. I'm going to use my Murray's Edge Wax Extreme Hold. This is my favorite thing to use when I'm doing the braids for underneath the weave. So I put that on the hair, and then I'll get a clip just to clip the other hair out of the way so that it won't get mixed up with my braid that I'm about to braid. And then I'll get a comb to smooth the edge wax in kind of, and then I will just begin braiding. The braiding that I'm showing you is like the most important part of this braid pattern is the braids that you do above the ear and at the back of the head. So I basically do like a upside down L shape, and then I will part the hair in the back in just like a straight horizontal line, and I will take the end of that braid that I did and continue braiding across. Repeat the same steps, use the edge wax, smooth it in, and begin braiding. And then I'll just do the exact same type of braid on the other side above that ear. And then here I just parted directly down the middle and I started braiding. And right there I was just showing you that I do connect the ends of my braids. I connect all of my braids together so that there won't be many braids hanging. So this is the finished result of the braiding pattern. As you can see, there's only 3 braided ends left hanging down rather than a bunch as many cornrows as they are. So right here I'm just smoothing in the oil that I put on my client's head. I use 2 types of oils. I use Wild Growth hair oil, and I use Kaleidoscope Miracle Drops. And then right here I'm just sewing on the net. So I get my client's frontal, and I just measure it on her hair just to see like what parts of the frontal that do I need to cut off. So I'm just showing you the products that I'm going to use for this process. I'm using the Got2Be brand, the holding spray, and the Got2Be Glued Gel. And this is a part of the stocking cap method. So I'm just gonna basically put the Got2Be Glued Gel on my client's hairline and right above her hairline, and then I'll let that dry a little bit, and then I'll go in with the holding spray. And just put that on top, and then I will basically like let that dry. And while I'm letting that dry, I started sewing on the elastic band onto my client's frontal. You want to sew the band on one end and then basically pull it to the other side and sew the other end on the other side. But you always want to measure like your client's head first before you even start sewing on the elastic band, or measure it on your own head if you're doing your own hair. Measure it on your own head first, and then I would recommend to cut off the end pieces that you don't need on your frontal and then sew the elastic band on. That's how I normally do it when I'm doing my own hair, but since I'm doing a client's head, I would rather do it this way, to sew the band on first and then I'll cut, because I basically kind of eyeballed it and measured it mentally. So once that's all done, just cut off the ends, tie a knot, and then cut the ends again. So this is basically the finish up of the stocking cap method. So what you always want to do is cut off the entire like perimeter of the stocking cap, because you do not want that extra little thick lining of the stocking cap. And if you didn't notice before, I like once I put the stocking cap on my client's head, I pulled it down far enough in the front so that I would not even like use the thicker part of the stocking cap. So here, once the Got2Be Glued product has dried, I'm just clipping off the ends so that there won't be anything that's like sticking up, because that will show through your frontal if you don't make sure that all of that excess stocking cap is cut off that's not glued down. And then here I'm just like kind of like eyeballing it and measuring it seeing how it will look once the frontal is on, and making sure that the stocking cap is cut how I want it to be so that it won't show through the frontal. And then at this point, I'm just like putting the last little bit of gel on the end to make the stocking cap lay as flat as possible. So right here, I'm just sewing down the stocking cap all the way across, and I'm just gonna cut off the excess because it's just not needed at all. So just get rid of that. We already have a net sewn on, so we don't need an extra stocking cap because we want the weave to lay as flat as possible. So I'm gonna go in with my NW45 MAC Studio Fix foundation powder, and I'm just going to brush that along all on the stocking cap, basically just over the entire thing, so that anywhere my client wants to part her frontal, she'll be able to part it and it'll give off a natural look. It won't be the tan stocking cap type of color. It'll be like the color of her skin, so, and it'll look like a scalp. So I'm just going to make sure my elastic band is adjusted correctly. Then I'm going to have my client hold on to the frontal while I adjust the elastic band around her head. And you can see now that the difference that it made, that the stocking cap made, being it having foundation put on it rather than not having foundation put on it. So that pretty much sums this video up. Make sure you watch the next video. This is like an entire playlist. So make sure you watch the next video to keep up with what I'm doing. And also check the description box for any like products that I used and other goodies. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah!